It's a big wide world out there, and some of us barely even manage to leave our bedrooms, let alone our town. And if you do go, the choice of where to go seems almost unmanageable. There's places rich in history, stunning locations, unique buildings, snow, sun, the list goes on. So today, we're looking at cities that haven't made it onto the global tourist map but still have something amazing about them. If you're from any of these wonderful places, then leave a comment and tell us what it's like. Except you, Dave. No one wants to know what you think. We have a secret city that's getting more and more lovely visitors every day. If you want to discover all its weird secrets, then please just step through the door marked subscribe. Number 10. Chaiyatura. Georgia is an ex-Soviet country in the Caucasus Mountains. It's actually got a lot of amazing cities, but surely the most unique is the mining town of Chaiyatura. In the 1950s, Stalin ordered the construction of a huge network of cable cars to act as the main public transport system around the many gorges and cliff faces. The cable cars are still running, but on first glance you'd think they probably shouldn't be. The rusted boxes drift around the city like you're in some sort of dystopian Terry Gilliam movie set. This, combined with the tree-covered hills and the spectacular Georgian cuisine, makes it an unforgettable experience. Number 9. Dresden. Dresden was the setting of the famous internment camp of Kurt Vonnegut's Slaughterhouse 5. At the end of World War II, the Allies firebombed it so heavily that it melted to the ground and turned parts of it to glass. But the restoration has restored much of its glory, and the city centre looks like Paris as it stands along the River Elbe. The Military History Museum is one of the world's best, and just an hour out of town is Bastei Bridge, a stone walkway between towering rocks that will fulfill all your Lord of the Rings wet dreams. Number 8. Bilbao. Okay, so admittedly the Basque city of Bilbao is not that much of an unknown, but it regularly gets overlooked for its bigger Spanish brothers, especially because the climate is noticeably cooler than the Mediterranean coast. However, walk out into the centre and you'll see what all the fuss is about. The Guggenheim and La Salve Bridge make it look like they let Dali gobble magic mushrooms and go to town on the city design. Just to warn you, there's also a giant metal spider on the waterfront, which may make some of you arachnope out there. Number 7. Neft Dashlari. This floating city sits just 40 miles from Baku, the capital of Azerbaijan. Its name translates to oily rock, which is a pretty accurate impression of its purpose, although not so much on the rock thing. It's built on pillars sticking out of the carcasses of sunken ships, including the world's first oil tanker. It peaked with a population of around 5,000, but that's dropped to about 2,000 now that people have Google and realise that they don't actually live in the movie Waterworld. It's hard to get access there, but it's a fascinating micro-city with shops and roads and apartments. Number 6. Fenghuang. Sat in the Hunan province about 1,000 kilometers inland, Fenghuang is already pretty popular as a tourist destination for the Chinese, but most foreigners stick to the coastal cities or trips up the Yangtze. It's like a time capsule, a sort of Chinese Disneyland from history. The buildings dangle over the river's edge, and when the sun goes down, the streets bustle with life, kids playing, people eating, and plenty of drinking. Number 5. Guatapé. Now that there's a peace deal with the FARC, you can expect Colombia to have a boom in tourism over the coming years, with the stunning port city of Cartagena probably stealing all the glory. So instead we're looking at Guatapé, a resort town built on the edge of an artificial reservoir created for hydroelectric power. The town is known for its multicoloured buildings and a huge rock called El Penol that watches over the town like a giant mammoth. Number 4. Slab City. Slab City is an alternative living community, so no need to call your local real estate agent if you're thinking about moving in, unless they make their own ayahuasca and teach Reiki. It's set in the deserts of California, near to an active bombing range. Who needs museums and nightlife when you have heavy shelling, right? Some residents live there all year round, but many come when it's a little cooler, either living in mobile homes or using whatever remains of the military base that used to be there. Number 3. Coober Pedy. This city sounds like a lost Nickelodeon cartoon from the 90s, and the actual city doesn't really feel like it's part of the real world. It's out in the desert in South Australia, and it's a very unique mining town. There are no big machines and big corporations running the show. Instead, everyone hunts for opals, which can be incredibly valuable. There's no way to industrialise this process, you just have to hunt through the dirt basically. So you can enjoy the sense of freedom under the stars, and if you're lucky and have beady eyes, you might just pay for the whole holiday if you strike opal. Number 2. Kolmanskop. Another mining town now, but the inhabitants are a little quieter here. Well, they're all dead, or they left. It's out in the Namibian desert and was founded in the early 1900s when diamonds were found just sitting around in the sand. It was abandoned in the 50s, but now has become one of the most beautiful deserted spots on Earth. No pun intended. The sands have built up in and around the buildings, so as you wander around, you feel like you're an alien exploring the Earth. Number 1. Isfahan. Within the region, Isfahan is hardly a surprising tourist destination. It's famous for its beauty, but sadly, thanks to world politics, Iran is a difficult place to visit, thanks to various visa rules and limits on bank cards and that kind of thing. Isfahan is more than worth the hassle though. It's like a Persian dream of ornate gardens and intricately mosaic buildings. It was once one of the largest cities in the world, but will now have to settle for being one of the prettiest. Thanks for watching another Daily Top 10's Top 10 video, and remember, it's our duty to entertain and yours to subscribe.